Everyone, Maegan McWade.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me to Creative Mornings and the Brain Station. I'm excited to be here. This is also my first time being here. Thank you. My magic wand. It's my favorite. It's my favorite time being here. It's also my first time being here. So yes, I'm Maegan. I have a company called Shop and Taylor Studios. This is one of my companies. And early on, when I started, I was young. And I thought, the dream is to be very busy Barbie and have it all. This idea that I was going to have domination in the fashion industry, I was going to expand, I was going to have lots of locations and tons of happy staff, and we were going to do amazing things and have it all. And in my course of learning many things through business, I like to say I learned all of it the hard way. Some of it was easy, fake it till you make it kind of thing. And I've grown my business to a place where now I have regular hours. I don't work on weekends. I have vacation. Thank you. Thank you. And I have a much more tidy and balanced life while also making more money, and I have way more sustainability, and I'm significantly more aligned with my values, my identity, and the community that I share that with, which is a major shift from day one when I was nice and solo, thinking everything was gonna be all about me, and I was the name of the thing, and I was gonna be this big person, into the reality that community is really where success is fostered. So this is me now. This is me as a toad with my tea in my thimble. So for anyone who is a tea person, I commend you because tea is great. There's way more teas than there are coffees, maybe arguably. And variety is the spice of life. So when I started out, you can see from some of my background pictures here, I look a little bit different. I was not out. I was living a attempted heteronormative, progressive life and try to make the optics of looking really busy and profitable and successful. And what that meant to me at the time was having staff to make it to look like I was really popular. I wanted my business to be known in the city as the place you would go for all your tailoring needs, for all your clothing specialties. We did a lot of custom sample making. We did special events. We were taking up spaces in markets and really connecting with a lot of businesses. Oops, my bad. We broke into a number of really great sectors, and the bridal sector was a really big one. It was a pretty big pivotal component within the business, made a lot of money. And some of these images here really showcase a full studio, lots of staff, many phases. In the bottom right here, where I'm having this drink, was one of my hardest days. I had a crazy bride, and I survived it. and you know, we got through it. And above that is when I was on this show, and I won the show, and I won some money, which was really cool. And all that money immediately went into payroll. And so I had succeeded in this like really amazing way fast. So I was growing extremely fast. The bigger I got, the smaller the profit margins were getting. And so I was being squeezed, and stress comes along with that. I was very stressed. And the bottom line was like, I gotta pay my staff. I gotta take care of my people. And you take care of yourself last when you're the business owner. Unfortunately, that's the way it goes. So what would I do in this situation where my profit margins are low? I optically look successful. People kept telling me, this is a really good problem to have. It's a really good problem that you are too busy. It's a really good problem you have too many customers. And it's like, thanks for that. Great, I'll just sit with that. Thanks for the recognition. basically what I had to do is I had to scale back. I had to degrow. And that was the only way that I was going to kind of halt this train that I was on. It became a bigger beast than me, and it controlled me. And I didn't have a handle on the business anymore. I was not connecting with my clientele. Bridal, I was definitely kind of lost within the value structure and the value system of wedding culture, which was becoming like 80% of a lot of the work that I did. Loved the dresses, loved working on the dresses. The clientele and the mentality of that industry is something else. I used to say I was like, I'm a family therapist is really what I'm doing here. I don't want to be a therapist. So what I did was I had a pandemic and the whole thing got shut down. It came right at about this time where I was like, I need to scale back. So I had to let go of a few staff. I started taking on fewer clients. I stopped doing little jobs and was really trying to only take on the really big ones. So catering down a clientele to sort of shrink business in a way. And then also when the pandemic hit, 2020, everything stopped. And I'm sure we all went through some amount of insane change, experience, good or bad. And what happened was I went from thin margins to zero income whatsoever for several years, while with all these like rolling lockdowns. I wasn't necessarily what you call an essential business, right? Anyway, but you still have all these financial responsibilities. So in this process, I pivoted maybe like 20 times, that classic word pivot. Does anybody else hate that word? Yeah, pivot's the worst word. Anyway, or learn to sew. A lot of people were teaching themselves to sew. And I was sitting in this huge studio with all the fixings, beautiful studio. No one's in it. And so I opened the doors for people to build their side hustles because everyone lost their jobs in my space. And I maybe thought I would offer some business consulting and product advice and these kinds of things. So it started off as this little experiment and it grew in popularity in terms of community building and information sharing. I had nothing to lose because there was no money to be made anyway. So I was like, let's just give. Why not? See what happens. And so in this period of time where the pandemic happened, maybe some of us resonate with this, maybe not, maybe you have friends or family, where a lot of people came out of the closet in this time. We're separated from regular day life, this operation of society, and suddenly it's like this authenticity has room to take up space inside when you're at home, alone, away from people who maybe cast judgment or have preconceived notions of you. And this happened for me in a really big way. As well as over the years, I resonated more with my queer customers than I did with my wedding hetero customers. And I really realized that I was seeing so much more of myself and I was experiencing more affirmation in myself from these clientele. And so I leaned into this in a really big way in this experimental time. So we have some really fun and exciting queer folk. Queer folk have wicked fashion, and I love fashion. It's a really cool space within the fashion world. There's a lot of boundless sort of ways to identify and signal. It's really, really fun. And it was amazing to get to coach a lot of people on their businesses. So I like that's awesome. But it doesn't really provide enough cash to make it really, really go. And I had to make the decision that at a certain point, my lease, I couldn't front the full cash flow to start it all over again and keep going in the marketing route. So I had to choose to shut it down. In this process, I realized the most collective, I have paid off, in 1 year, I have paid off all of my debt. Big deal, really big deal. I have paid off all my debt. I make more money than I ever did before. And I am more affirmed in my identity, in my skill set. I am more selective and I have more of my projects that I take on and I have so much more free time. I go on vacations. I never work weekends. I take days off, take mornings off to come talk to you guys. I take evenings off. I'm gonna go to the One of a Kind show later and go shopping, where I will also be supporting my fellow makers in the studio who are also selling things there. So head to the One of a Kind show and go shop some local maker stuff. And I have this like really beautiful, cute, cozy life of sewing. I get to live my like hobby life for real. I just bought a knitting machine and I'm figuring out how to use it and like nerding out hard. And it lives at my house where it's like for fun. And so what I did was I actually grew financially. My business grew. It expanded internally in a very serious way by downsizing and changing these optics of what I thought business should be. Is anybody here to grow or to shrink their business? I think we have some like red and green dots on some of our tags. Who's got a red dot? 1, 2, 3, nice. Talk to me about how to degrow. Very cool. And business growth. Maybe some of these ideas that I've kind of talked about here can guide you in what growth will mean for your businesses and how to be intentionally selective. So that's it I have to share with you now. Thanks so much. If you'd like to know more, you can scan my QR code here. It takes you to my website. I have more businesses. You can check those out. Follow me on Instagram. I run a lot of community events. I teach sewing lessons for beginners as well as advanced sewists and designers. So if you're interested in becoming a fashion designer, I can tell you how to do that. And we do all kinds of things, very community-based. We love, 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 love supporting growth of other businesses and degrowth. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Maegan one more time.
Thank you.